All right, so look at what we got here. My husband is a good guy. He doesn't do anything halfway. Check this out. When I said buy the book, he took me seriously. He went shopping, and now we've got to get to it. So what's your idea of a good recipe book? My idea is anything that has at least 5 good recipes in it that doesn't have something that is really hard to find, like an ingredient that's really hard to find or something that's really expensive, something that you can eat every day. Keep watching to see what we do. Welcome back to the Old Recipe Kitchen. I'm Yvonne, and this week we are going into a brand new book. It is King Arthur Baking Company Baking School, which if you've watched any of my videos, you probably think I need to go to baking school. Meh, okay. Anyway, today we're going to do a new recipe, which is coconut macaroons. The good thing about this recipe is you only need 6 ingredients and they only take 18 minutes to cook or bake. All right, so the first part of the recipe calls to take 2 large egg whites and add it to a mixing bowl that has a whisk attachment. And you're going to beat that until it turns frothy. It's not very much, so I don't imagine it's gonna take long to do. While it's being mixed, you're going to add 1/8 a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 a teaspoon of cream of tartar. All right, so once the mixture becomes frothy, you are to gradually add 3/4 a cup of sugar a little at a time until it starts to turn into a meringue. So we have a nice frothy, glossy looking meringue, and the next set of instructions is to add 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 3 cups of shredded coconut. So you don't have to use the mixer for that. You can just add it in. Something that you should remember, this recipe actually requires you to do an extra step. A lot of macaroon recipes will have you do all the ingredients at once, but this actually has the extra step to make the meringue first in order to keep the liquid part of the eggs from pooling at the bottom. They called it a foot. So if you want nice, well done, well formed macaroons, then you add this extra step, which is to make the meringue first. This recipe will yield about 2 dozen cookies. One of the best things you can do for the best results is to make sure when you are doing the egg mixture, make sure that no part of the yolk is included in the meringue mixture, because the fat from the yolk will keep the meringue from rising and forming peaks. So I'm going to see if I can make them the same size, or roughly the same size, and see how it turns out. All right, so I used a spoon to kind of gather them up and make them look a little bit more uniform before we put them in the oven. They are to go in the oven for 18 to 22 minutes until they are nice and golden brown, 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Wish me luck. All right, welcome back to the Old Recipe Kitchen. I have just taken them out of the oven, and as you can see, Maxine was once again running hot. Now, this is not all Maxine's fault. It is my fault. I left these unattended, and this is what happens when you leave your stuff unattended. They're a little bit overcooked. However, coconut is an acquired taste, and I just happen to like my cookies extra crispy, so I will probably be eating these. These are what they are supposed to look like. These are coconut macaroons. If you would like, you can also temper some chocolate like they did in the book, and you can kind of skewer it on the top of the cookies and make it look even more presentable. I happen to like mine with nothing on it because I really like coconut. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. If you like what you saw today, like and subscribe. Give me a comment down below if there's something that you want to see us make here on the Old Recipe Kitchen. And until next time,